We might as well start this. I do have glasses on. Um,
Can't even tell with the
I mean, I am a
massive
little.
bags
So
on your
yeah, I
eyes.
mean, I am a little tired. So I did do the like the four. I went to bed at like midnight last night, 12:30. Woke up at like 4:30 in the morning. Just one of those. Just happens, and you're like, oh, cool. Got plenty of time. Just sitting there in it, just not sleeping. I wasn't like
Oh.
overly tired. It wasn't the worst, but I was like, it's gonna be a long day. And then I went out to do a little fishing, a little kayaking. Really hot day. I did not make a mistake of forgetting. I always wear sunblock anyway. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This
It's
is
true.
a. I'm begging for
You're better
cancer.
off forgetting. Yeah, you're better off forgetting your paddle as opposed to forgetting sunblock.
I know, and I even applied twice. I think the mistake I made today was, um, taking my sunglasses off for like half an hour. And I think I got sun damage from. Do you ever get sun damage from like? It's sort of like snow blindness, growing up here. If you like look at the snow, people say don't do it, obviously, because like the sun radiating off of snow, but it
Yeah.
happened off the water, I think. And all of a sudden, I was like, my eyes were watering, and I was like, oh no. I was like, I wasn't. It didn't seem sunny. Like eyes were hurting. I was like, oh no, this is happening. And I would say so. I got home an hour and a half ago, and for the better part of that, my eyes have been closed. I was borderline like I can't even do this. I'm gonna have to just like I don't know. I might. Who knows? Right now, I got this orange light making me look beautiful and really reflecting off my glasses. And I don't know, man. I'm in all sorts of bad right now.
Right. I was gonna say, I'm like, this is a really, really prime time to be trying to record a podcast episode. I mean, I'm proud of you. This seems like
Oh,
you really weighed all of your
yeah.
options and decided that this was the absolute peak time that you should be presenting yourself. So good on you. It wasn't an easy decision, but I'm glad you made it.
No, you know what? If you can't have me at my worst, you can't have me at my mediocre.
I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. Age of convenience. My daddy worked hard for that.
I do have the. I'm rocking the old man hanky to wipe away my leaking eyes.
So got, yeah,
You ever
got the
see it run
glasses
into an old
on.
guy in your life that has to wipe his eyes because he's always like just leaking? I've seen that. It's kind of sad. I've seen it happens to old people in the store all the time. They're talking to you, and there's just stuff dripping out of their eyes and their noses, and they don't realize it.
I have not noticed that, so I don't know if I'm not around the right old people. My grandfather used to carry a legit hanky. Like my grandpa, I don't
Mhm.
think he even knew or like supported the tissue industry because that man just
This is a
snotted
legit.
into like the generic handkerchief design too.
Well, it's got Tito's. It's free.
Oh, it's a Tito's vodka
They give them
hanky.
out. They give them out. Yep.
Wow.
It's the only Tito's I have anymore. It's not rags.
Yep. It's not right. It's good.
So he carried.
Good.
Did he carry around the white hanky?
No, I think his was red, but it wasn't. I don't recall it being often designed. Like it looked old. So I always was confused as a kid because I'm like, so I don't get it. As a kid, we learned to grow up, use a Kleenex, use a tissue, and then you throw it away. I'm like, so this is just a snot rag that you just willingly and like so casually put back into your pocket after you rip
Yeah.
like my grandpa had a schnoz on him too. Like, so
Oh,
this
yeah?
was no mild nose blowing. This was a honking nose blow, but then he, wipe, put it back in your pocket. And I remember as a kid, just every time seeing my grandpa do that, I'm like, am I missing something? I'm like, that's fucking gross, right? Like as a kid, I'm like, but I'm not going to ask him about it because he was an intimidating figure. I'm not going to front up on the patriarch when I'm 12 years old just because I don't understand what he's doing blowing his nose, but it was always on my mind.
It's got to come with just the age thing. You give less fucks every day that goes by.
That's what it
great.
is. It's the, oh yeah, no, I know people are judging me, but also fuck you. Like
Yeah.
Respect. I couldn't do that at 12 years old. I didn't even understand. I didn't even comprehend not giving a crap what people thought. I can't even comprehend. I'm like, but what do you mean you don't care what you look like?
It sucks so bad, like being in your 20s and like, I feel like I had that, especially when I went to college and like, it was like all the garage music, was coming out, the Strokes, all this stuff, kind of like the hipster, you know,
Uh-huh.
toned down, lo-fi, uh, like cool rock and roll, White Stripes, all that
That was a
stuff
weird,
was
it was a
out.
weird
And
time. That was a weird time in
but it's
music.
like that stuff is so cool, and I can't say that I at the time still like within a year had still gone to a Creed concert. I couldn't tell anybody that. Like I was like I don't forgot who they were with, but I was like I can't, I was like so ashamed, it was so hard to like be into what you really wanted to be into. I mean, um because people were so fucking in my mind. I mean, this is in my mind. You're creating this thing of like, this is what's cool, and I can't really enjoy the things that I really want to enjoy in public. But now I
Yeah,
don't
it's the
care.
concept
It's
of
great.
guilty
Yeah,
pleasures. Why, like,
yeah.
guilty pleasures shouldn't be a term. It should just be
Hmm.
pleasures. Like,
Hmm.
why do you have to feel bad for enjoying something that you enjoy? As long as it's not like murder, like, you should be within your right. If it's just an
Yeah.
activity or a form of media or a band. Speaking of Creed, you were one of the people I went to my first concert with, and that was Creed in
Well,
September
that must have been the one I was
of
thinking of. I don't know.
September of 2000 in our senior year of high school at Darien
Yeah,
Lake. It
and
was
Scott Stapp ripped
Creed.
his pants.
It was Creed, Days
Wasn't
of
it
the
Jerry
New.
Cantrell?
No, this might be a
Who was
different
that?
concert.
Oh, okay.
Mine with you was Creed, Days of the New, and a band called American Pearl. They were all on the same record label. And I remember like, I'm like, this is what rock concerts are like. It was in an amphitheater for those of you who've never been to a show at Darien Lake. Um, It was fantastic. My parents actually just hung out in the parking lot. So props to them for just being content with hanging out in a parking lot while we go see a show. But yeah, man,
That is
you were
awesome.
my first couple shows because the next one was March of 2001 at the Utica Auditorium. We saw
Yes.
Godsmack and Stained.
Stained. We saw
Yep.
the greatest bands of the year 2000, Incubus. Remember, we went with a couple girls, our high school friends, my high school girlfriend, and it was like we were down in the pit, and all of a sudden it was like, nope. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
I was
That
like, this
was
is a
yeah.
mistake. We had to
So
go back up into the seats or something. Yeah.
no pit to consider at Creed, and I believe we were at lawn seats anyway. So then yeah, Utica Auditorium, general admission down on where the hockey rink is, and all of a sudden like heavier songs get going. It's like, okay, so this is what this is like.
Because even the first, because I think wasn't Godsmack the headliner, I'm guessing at the time.
Yeah, Stain would
Or
have
there was
opened
like
for Godsmack.
somehow. I mean, I think they're still around. But
Well,
like Incubus, even
Lewis is a
Incubus
dumpster
and
fire as a
Stained.
human.
What's that?
I said Aaron Lewis is a dumpster as a human now.
Is he?
Like he's come,
I
yeah,
believe it.
yeah. He's a hardcore conservative, but also like just kind of a piece of shit, in general. So
Oh,
unfortunate
that's
for
too
him.
bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Would you
I
say
really
he
thought
stained his reputation?
you would. You
Oh
would
my
say that, and you
goodness, I
did.
am at 100%.
Um,
Let's go.
I'm very sure he hits Turning Stone Casino as a solo act like 60 times a year. But yeah, man, I mean, that was my first step into the world of concerts. So it was more larger shows. Now, eventually in college, I met other fans of ska and punk, and they would keep me in tune with more shows of that nature. So arena shows, I still like them from time to time, but majority of the shows I've been to would just be that. I don't go to concerts, I go to shows. And that's the difference is the size of the audience involved. So a lot of the shows I go to are venues that hold anywhere from smallest ones I've been to have held like 50 to 75 people, and the larger end of those shows are 5 to 700.
Yeah, I
So
mean, well, you saw. I mean, I did that. I mean, I've been to all kinds of shows, obviously, but some of the small ones when I did the Fair City Fire thing when we met up
yeah,
with you, like some of those shows. I mean, I've seen shows as small as like me and the friends of the band and that kind of thing. But it's something fun about it because it's always like, when your friends are the band and you're there to support them, all you're really doing is like you're looking around to be like, who's someone here? Because there was always somebody, because they're a good band, so there's always somebody that would like pick it up and be really into it, and you're like, oh, that's the guy. He's into it. Yep, look at him. I can see him. He's never heard him before, and he's just like, what is going on here? It would usually be, especially in Austin, because there's bands there that, I mean, so much music there that everybody could be Grammy winners, famous, whatever. It's just the music industry is just insane, like everybody knows. But there's so much talent there that
Yeah.
when people would visit Austin, like on their business trips or conferences, they just go to a random bar or something, and there's just open mics or just bands playing or going to a barbecue. Every venue has some music, and it blows their mind because they're like, "This is crazy that this is like this talent level happening all the time." So I loved it. I mean, I think that changed my favorite genre of music over time. Is just live music, and I gotta say, I haven't really seen a lot of it since COVID times. Rip.
Yeah.
I need to go to a show. I miss kind of like open mic vibe
So
things for
you
sure.
you are not a Swiftie. You did not go to the T Swift concerts. I don't know what the closest one to Central New York would have been.
It was
Probably
Pittsburgh.
Buffalo. Buffalo didn't even
Pittsburgh.
get it. It was Pittsburgh.
Nope. I know it because like everybody from work took it off the same weekend and drove to Pittsburgh.
So yeah. So I guess next to Pittsburgh, literally, it would have been Philadelphia, or
Yep.
maybe East Rutherford. About the same distance, actually, to be honest with you, for MetLife Stadium to Link.
But that's the thing is, I would go to a Taylor Swift concert, but not for $600. But if somebody was like, "Hey, we're going to Taylor Swift. Do you want to go? It's $50." I'd be like, "Okay,
Oh, I'd
I'll
go.
go." Like
Yeah.
I don't know any. Yeah, I
Well,
don't know whatever. But
so
I mean, I
Caitlin
know the big hits.
Caitlin had gotten tickets. One of our friends got 2 tickets, and she asked Caitlin if she wanted the second one. So a few $100, and Caitlin got her ticket. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, if I'm like, hey, you want to go see a concert? I'm like, I'm not here to put a value on what someone should or shouldn't pay. And I'm like, okay, a few $100. All right. So she had like 200 level and like a pretty solid shot of the stage from one of the angled sides. Oh boy. I was checking StubHub the day of the show and obviously all the chaos leading up to it. There were 3 upper 300 level tickets and 300 level tickets angled behind like the stage, starting to have a very much obstructed vision that were selling for like 1,600. And I'm like, hey, look, turns out over a couple months, your tickets were extremely, extremely good deal.
Yeah.
But, I was talking about it with a couple friends and more importantly, the husband of the husband of the other girl that she went to the show with. And again, this
You
is a
trying to convince her
personal
to sell it?
assessment. No, I would never try to convince her to sell it. What I was saying and what he said, same thing, is I'm like, if I had tickets to the band that I love and they were really great tickets, but someone told me you can get a 500% return on this ticket, I'm selling that in a heartbeat just for who I am. I'm like,
Really?
I'm selling that in a
Okay.
heartbeat. You
Well,
bet. You bet. If
well,
I'm
here's
making over
well,
$1,000 on a ticket, yep. I'll do something awesome with that grand. So that's just
I'm
my
gonna
take
have
on
to
it.
go
Again,
ahead
this is
and
not a judgment call on her. That's just
disagree
my
with you
assessment.
there.
Okay. Fuck you, but go ahead.
I don't, it depends. So if I said like Metallica, and I've seen them like 8 or 9 times, it depends
Mhm.
on the seat. And because now I would want to see them because it's like, who knows how much longer they're going to go. Supporting the new album, I'd want to see the new stuff. If it was like front row type, so I have a friend that worked at Wegmans. She transferred to a different store, but she was like in the Taylor Swift fan club. She won a lottery to buy at face value front row seats. So she has video of like Taylor like looking at her phone and all that stuff. It's crazy. Like they're that close. Um, so I think she paid the face value was $600 for that. She could have sold them that
10
day
grand.
for like 3,500 for $4,000 or something like
Like
that. But
easily.
she's never seen her before. And that kind of like, but to me, it's like that money goes like it all of a sudden you don't have that money next year. I've kind of leaned, and I would say mistakes have been made in my life financially because I've often leaned on I will pay for this experience now, um, because I think I will regret it later if I didn't do it.
Okay.
In a way. So I don't know where the balance is for me. Maybe if it was like I mean, I would do this. I could potentially see selling for $5,000 and then buying $500 tickets further back.
I
How about
agree. I
that?
think there is a
That's a
middle ground of
compromise.
that.
Yeah.
I would understand that. Now, obviously, in these situations, in her situation, that might be a viable option. In Caitlin's, it really wasn't, um, because there was nothing there were no cheap tickets. So your friend might have been able to say, I'll sell this for $8,000 and buy a more lucrative $1,700 ticket, which again, you're just looking at net profit. You're making, if she's like, I can make $5,000 to go to the same show, but sit further back. Yeah. But man, a front row ticket, I would have just seen
What's the
dollar
most expensive
signs.
ticket you've ever had for anything? Like
Oh,
either a sport or a trip or something? You
no,
know?
I mean, sporting event, or I mean, I've always been more of the conservative. I'm just happy to be there. And especially with sports, a lot of them, I'm like, all the seats are like a baseball stadium. I usually will freak out and being like trying to figure out which seats are good. And I go and I'm like, all these seats are good. I'm like, what am I talking about? So like, I don't need to be up close and personal. It's cool. I've done it a couple times at baseball stadiums where I've been like, you know, 10 rows back from home plate, 15 rows back from home plate. But the most I've ever spent was, I really haven't had really expensive tickets. I think the most I've ever paid was maybe the UFC when it came to Philadelphia in 2019. I had 200 level tickets that we got for like $250, me and my brothers. Montreal was expensive, but we had nosebleeds for UFC 150. I can never remember if it's 158 or 153, but went to UFC in Montreal and nosebleeds were 170. So like by comparison of the seats that were offered, like that was pretty expensive. That was literally 10 years ago. But yeah, I've never gone baller status on anything. I've never allowed myself to, yeah. And you're right. There is a level of regret to it that I'm not oblivious to that concept. So there's an element to it, but I don't know. I think usually something gets the best of me and I try to be more reasonable about it. But I've definitely had people that are like, yeah, but you do it too often. Like you don't go for the
Well,
glory like
yeah,
ever on them. And so I don't know when I would do it. I don't know
that's
on what
true. Have
event.
you like dug yourself in so far that would have to be something like extra special versus just regular
I,
special now to do it?
probably.
You know?
Um, I've never been to a playoff sporting event. That's kind of a weird thing. As
Ooh,
much as I've
me
been to
neither.
live events,
Actually,
I've never
yeah.
been to playoffs. Meanwhile, a buddy of mine
Well,
from
minor
work,
league I've been to. But
a buddy of mine from work who doesn't even watch hockey went to the Stanley Cup Finals this year in Florida because he lived in
that's,
Miami and he's like, I just
that's
put my
sweet.
name in
Yeah.
the lottery and he got finals tickets, game 4 finals tickets for like $350. I'm like, dude, I'd go to the Stanley Cup. I don't even give a crap who's playing. And that's what he admitted saying that. He goes, I just wanted to go to the Stanley Cup finals so I could say I went. Like he's a sports guy,
Hmm.
but not much of a hockey guy. But he's like, I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to go to the playoffs when they're 20 miles from my house. I'm like, that's honestly a good attitude to have because all live sports, especially playoff hockey, I mean, you're literally jaw drop the entire game.
Yeah, I had a buddy, my buddy Jordan, who lives in Colorado now. He's a Bruins fan, and we started to do like 7 or 8 years ago when he was still living in Texas. We would go to the Dallas arena to watch the Bruins play there every year because they go once a year. So like as the years went on, like eventually like one year we were like got second, whatever, third row or something behind the glass, and it was awesome. We'd show up there early, watch the warm ups. I mean, the we kind of splurged on the Winter Classic tickets. I think those are like $600 a pop for the lower deck. Um, but I don't know. I've never. I'm very susceptible to peer pressure in a lot of
Okay.
ways in terms of stuff like that. Where
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
that's
oh, come
good
on,
sometimes.
yeah,
That's good because
right,
I don't, it's kind of funny because sometimes I don't have those people that pressure me. And I'm like, you listen, I would give in if other people were like, hey, this is what we're doing, but I don't have enough assertive people. So they ask my opinion and I default to being conservative. Like people
Well, we're
always
gonna
go
have
like, "Oh,
to.
do you want to go on a cruise?" I'm like, "No, I would never choose to go on a cruise. I don't understand the appeal." But I said if I had a group of people that were like, "We're all going on a cruise. Do you want to go?" I would go.
Would you go on a regular cruise? Like, just I mean, because
What does a
there's
regular
cool
cruise mean?
cruises now where it's like Chris Jericho has like a wrestling and rock and roll cruise, or Weezer has a cruise, or something like that,
Flogging
where it's like
Molly
all
has a
bands.
cruise.
I would like that kind of thing, but it's weird to me the idea of a cruise that's just with regular people going from the Caribbean or whatever. Maybe it's not weird. I don't know. It
Right.
kind of
But
freaks me out a little bit.
that's what's in my head. I go, "So wait, there's a cruise." And people are like, "Yeah, but it's like all inclusive and you're kind of," I'm like, "But there's all inclusives in the Bahamas that are cheaper and I'm not on water on a big boat." I'm like, "So why do you go on a cruise?" And people are like, "Oh, you just don't understand. There's different ports and blah blah." I go, "Okay." But it seems like all the positive things people mention, I feel like I could do on land. So I just don't understand. Cause I'm like, so what if there is really bad weather? People are like, "Oh, yeah, no, you can get motion sickness." I'm like, you know where I don't get motion sickness? On the land. So many
That
land based
yeah.
vacations that I haven't done.
Plus the people. I mean, I feel like would there be any worse spot to have like moments of anxiety than on a boat in the middle of the ocean where you can't
No.
go anywhere? Because that's like one of my biggest triggers for anxiety is feeling trapped, and I couldn't imagine being in a tiny little room surrounded by thousands of people in the middle of the ocean with nowhere to go.
And you can't
Like,
stand up straight
yeah,
because
yeah,
of like tides and like, so I don't know. Yeah, it just doesn't speak to me. So I have no interest really in going on a cruise. But like you say, there are themed ones that are pretty rad. Like I said, actually, the Jericho one would be huge. Just
yeah.
wrestling matches constantly
I'd be into
going
that. Yeah,
on. Or yeah, like Flogging Molly has one that they always seem to have really good setups and bands that go with them. But yeah, I mean, vacations even. I'm usually pretty lucrative when it comes to finding vacation houses, hotels, things of that nature. And I don't know, I rarely splurge. I always try to like kind of get solid value for where I go. But yeah,
yeah. But
sometimes to
I
my own
mean,
detriment. I don't treat myself with a lot of that stuff.
yeah, but you're setting yourself up for good future. Whereas like when I'm
Eh,
65,
who
I'm
gives a
still
shit? No, retirement's not going to happen for us. Like, let's be honest, we're going to
That's
work
true.
until we're 80. Like, fuck that. We're all just being lied to anyway. So,
I'm gonna work
bag
till
it.
I'm 85 for a yearly
Yep.
vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Have
So,
you ever
I don't
done
know.
a? What's your level for like doing a vacation, like an outdoorsy or like a camping type vacation? Have you done it, or are you interested? Do you usually
Like,
do like hotel things? I know you do like the baseball thing,
mm-hmm.
but
um,
you ever
I'll
wanted
do
to do like
hotels. I've
or
done
like the Rocky
Airbnb a couple
Mountains?
times. Airbnb is interesting
Mhm.
just because of the variety. So, we're doing an Airbnb in Denver, not doing hotels. Um, where's five guys going? So, we have a house, basically an apartment that has like a deck on the roof, but it looks like it's a nice place. Everyone's got a bed. Obviously, we have a living room, a kitchen, three bathrooms. So like instead of getting a hotel downtown, we're 3/4 a mile away from the baseball stadium, and so we're like, oh, I'll just do an Airbnb. So we're doing that. Um, I like hotels, but I certainly don't need hotels. I've done the Outer Banks of North Carolina and gotten like the big vacation houses. That's always a good
Mhm.
time. I do enjoy those because I like to have walk around and hang out areas and room outside of a hotel room. So even when I went to Minneapolis last year, we got like adjoining rooms that had a massive common area, like living room area, because me and my buddies, when we get together, it's almost guaranteed that we're going to play cards at some point, like pitch or something like that. So it's nice to have downtime and have an area to spend that. Camping wise, I mean, we have the cabin. My family's got a camp in the Adirondacks. So I go up there from time to time. It's kind of tough living 5.5 hours away. It's not exactly a quick drive, but I've never done like I'm done with camping. Camping. Like
Ooh,
the last time I was in a tent was like 10 years ago and it sucked. And it's like, oh, okay. I'm literally past camping. Like tent camping, never again. I will not do it.
really?
Yeah, 0%
Dude,
chance.
you're
Fuck
a
it. I'm not.
Boy
I'm not. I'm
Scout.
too old. I'm too old to be uncomfortable. Yeah, I was a Boy Scout, and I was a shitty one. But I did put in the years. But no, it's. I love the outdoors stuff. But when I want to sleep, give me a bed, give me heat, give me a fan. Like, I don't want to rough it sleeping. That's stupid. That's really stupid. And I don't. You're wrong if you enjoy it. So if you're about to tell me like I really like the event, no. I
I'm gonna
during
have
the
to
day
go
when
ahead
I'm
and
awake,
disagree. Yeah.
yeah, let's go on a fucking adventure. But when I want to sleep, I'm like, it would be a good time. Back pain, bears, freezing
It
cold
can't.
weather.
Yeah.
Ooh, rain in a tent. Talk about a good time.
Hey, that's been one of my favorite YouTube searches. Rain in a tent. Put you to sleep. Yeah, it can be uncomfortable. I mean, I guess that depends on, you know, I guess I like the variety of experiences. It's like I wouldn't want to only
That
do
doesn't.
camping things, but I still want them part of my life where like
So
I don't know,
you're
I just want to
telling
go
me, Jeff, I want to make sure I still have negative experiences. That doesn't make sense.
not negative, but
The
that wouldn't be
joys aren't
negative.
as
I guess what
joyful
I'm
unless I
okay.
have shitty experiences too.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be negative to me, but I mean, because there are elements where it could be where it's hot, where there's bugs or things like that. But I enjoy that in a way.
Sleeping. Your
Sleeping
lack
or
of
not?
quality sleep is
Yes.
inviting to you.
But the highs of that being out somewhere, just away from everything, away from like civilization and
While
people.
you're sleeping.
Well, so I mean,
Do you
I don't go on
dream
vacation to
better?
sleep. I don't go on vacation to sleep. All right,
Right. That's what I'm saying. So the argument I have for you is I agree. While I'm awake, I want to be all those things, but I want to be well rested so that I
Yeah.
can enjoy them more when I'm awake.
Well, you can't have it all.
Yes, I can.
Not with you can.
There's
You
there's
can in an
there's
Airbnb.
cabins you can camp in. There are RV rentals. No, you absolutely can have both. You can wake up, get out
I
of
could
bed,
see
and
that.
then be in
Okay,
the wilderness.
I could see that. You could split the difference. Little pop up number.
100% would do a pop-up camper. That's fine.
Yeah.
I can deal with that. Yep, I can make
Um,
that work.
how about the
But
Airbnb rules though? The last one I went to, like Airbnbs are almost more ridiculous than hotels. Like I almost would rather go to a hotel now. Airbnbs, B&Bs used to be like so fun and cool because it's like getting a chance to stay in somebody's house and seeing all their cool shit. And now there's like
uh-huh.
so much liability with it, and like they have their own list of rules and like you can't have people over, like people watch, put your trash here, and it's like literally like kind of like almost like a list of chores at some places about how to
Yeah,
take
like
care
you're
of the
kind of
house,
going
and
to
it's
like
like
your finicky grandparents' house or something that where like you
yeah,
can't touch anything. Like that's not the sitting room. Don't go in that room.
right.
What the fuck?
Whereas hotels are, you leave, someone's gonna come and clean it up for you, real nice,
Yeah. Yeah.
spared no expense.
Have you ever done anything to a hotel room that you're like, oh boy, wonder if that's going to come back and bite me in the ass?
I mean, I used to like travel for the job I had in DC for a long,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like a couple of weeks, a month on the road. I used to get a lot of room service and stuff like that, so I probably got some, I don't know, some ketchup, some food on the bedding or whatever. I don't think I've ever honestly like never really fucked around too much in hotel rooms because I was honestly never there long enough. I don't think I've ever been in a hotel long enough
Sure.
to like really
To
like
really do
destroy
some
it. Although
damage.
I did go to see even then because we switched rooms. Like we went to like a bachelor party in Vegas like 12, 13 years ago, but
Yeah.
it was like 12 guys in one suite. So we probably I don't even remember what, but we probably got fucked up somehow or another. But I don't remember. I was like one of the first ones to leave, and I didn't know everybody. So if there was any
I was one of the
damages, I
first
didn't
ones
really
to
know
leave, and
about
I
it.
was so fucked up that I can't be certain. I'm going to go off on a limb and say something bad
Yeah,
happened. You
something
just don't
bad
know what
probably
it
happened.
is.
Yeah, yeah. I had already
Well,
put my money in the pot.
I don't think I've broken anything per se or damaged any property at the hotel. I do have a friend of mine who is a notorious bedwetter when he gets blackout drunk. So
Oh,
I have had multiple hotel rooms under my name where he ends up wetting the bed. And I'm like, this better
shut
not be the
up.
one. I
Oh
better not
no.
find a miscellaneous charge. As far as we know, he has gotten away with peeing the bed every single time, and they've never brought it up. So like, it won't be like, oh, I'll leave the covers off too. Like there's an element of shame where like he's pulled the duvet back over the bed. I'm like, are you hiding it as if they're not going to come upon it?
Did you bring
Is
your
this,
plastic sheets this time?
yeah.
God.
But
Dude, that's a
now,
terrible way to live.
no, even worse is psychologically, his brain subconsciously is an asshole about it too, because he's never peed his own bed. So explain
Wow.
that science for
It
sleep
takes it on the road.
studies. Why aren't the
Yeah.
scientists figuring out his brain? Like, yeah, he takes it on the road. He does not pee his own bed, but he's peed many hotel beds.
Yeah, there's got to be something psychological there. Like, he doesn't respect any. It's some kind of punk move. He probably listens to a lot of punk music.
Okay.
Yeah,
That must.
it's probably satanic, something like that.
Oh wow, this took a turn. Interesting.
Yeah,
Satanic
some
PPs.
kind of occult thing.
Okay, maybe.
Speaking of people at Wegmans drop off. Speaking of the occult, drop off. I don't know if you remember. There's like these little tiny pamphlets, like little tiny readers, like books that like the really Christian folk drop and leave in public.
Oh.
It's like sort of looks like a little black book, and it's always a story or some kind of thing. But someone dropped one off. It was about love, but it said, "Who knows about all your sins?" And it's the Bible says Jesus does. But these are some of the sins. I took a picture of them. But did you know that witchcraft is a sin?
I mean, that's
playing with the occult. Playing with the occult is a sin.
What does that even mean?
Playing with it. I don't know.
Okay.
Just you can be serious. No play. Did you believe this? Incest.
What?
Filthy talk.
It says
drunkenness.
Filthy talk?
Yeah. Hating parents is a sin.
Hating parents?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can dislike them.
Yeah.
And you can resent them, but you can't hate them. But I like filthy talk. That might be my favorite so far, but go ahead.
Stubbornness.
What does that even mean? Now we're getting really vague of like,
easy, dude.
Hey, I don't really want to do this. Whoa, sinner. What was that? You're being stubborn? Yeah. Whoa, sinner.
What's up with that filthy talk and stubbornness, huh?
But also, let me go back to this.
Says gay.
It just says gay?
Gay, yeah.
They're not even.
It's hilarious.
They're not even wording it like in a phrase or a statement. It's just gay.
Is your son gay and stubborn? He's going straight to hell.
Are they being stubborn because they refuse to stop having sex with other boys?
Yeah.
So like, what if someone's persuading you to help them be gay? What if they're trying to nag you on to be gay with them and you just keep saying no? Are you being stubborn? So is this a lose-lose situation? Is this a total catch-22? Yeah. Double-edged gay stubborn sword? I've read about those starting now. Yeah, but like,
if you don't 69 with me, you're going to hell.
Right. Basically. You can't be stubborn about it. I'm going to ask you again tomorrow and you better say yes this time. But then that's so
especially if your parents make you.
Classic Christian paradox.
Yep. There's always something, It's not as clean as you think it is.
It's a loophole, Christianity. I'm seeing through you.
Yeah.
Rascals. That's good, though. It's good that they at least gave you literature. And it sounds like they put a lot of time into the literature, too. If they're just putting like step 8, gay. Okay. I don't remember these commandments, but they must be they must have been like in like the Third Testament.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time you've been in a church?
Ooh.
I mean, do you still do like family things or like?
No, I stopped doing that.
Holiday things.
I did once a few years ago because my niece was singing for Christmas Eve, and that's when I went. But that was the only reason why I went. I don't go to church anymore on holidays even, which was a very interesting concept when it first started. So I was still in college. And we would go out to Christmas Eve dinner with my dad's side of the family, my grandmother and cousins and uncles and aunts on that side of the family. And we would always go to church after. And like one time I just told my mom, I'm like, hey, listen, this isn't my gig anymore. And I feel like I'm old enough to tell you that. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And she's like, okay, that's fine. So like going to dinner at Christmas Eve, it was like, all right, you guys are all going to church now? I'll see you back at the house. So I would go home and everyone else would come home like an hour and a half later. And I'm like, how is it? And everyone's like, oh, it's churchy.
Yeah.
So no, I would say if I had to guess 3 years ago, I haven't been to Easter church in probably 15 plus years, but I've dabbled here and there once every few years for Christmas Eve for different reasons, or it's just kind of throw a layup to my mom and appease her. So how about yourself?
Hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, I think I grew up going to church a lot, and probably in my mid 20s. I mean, I definitely wasn't going, but there's always things that didn't add up in my mind that couldn't be explained. It's like, well, with Adam and Eve, what about the dinosaurs? And it's like all these things that don't line up. The more you learn about things, you're like, well, this doesn't make sense. And then I think I kind of had like a pretty hateful rebellion against organized religion in my early to mid 20s, where I was like, it should be considered child abuse. and, and
Nice.
I mean, I don't necessarily, I'm not as strong. Like now I'm like, people can do what they want as long as you don't hurt other people. But I think a lot of people do get hurt in the name of religion. And for me, I realized like when I was growing up, I used to have like nightmares about being possessed by the devil because I thought that was a thing. And so I think I realized that when I was in my
All
20s, I
thanks to
used to be
religion.
afraid of like Satan, things like that. 'Cause I swear, like when I was young, I went to some church that we went to, like just it wasn't even our church, it was another church. We watched like some guy get possessed or something like that, and had to get, I don't know, it was something insane.
What
Or maybe I
backyard
misunderstood it.
bayou churches were your parents taking
It
you
was, I
to?
don't know, maybe it was like some kind of Pentecostal thing. I don't remember, but it totally. I mean, I would have trouble sleeping. Like I never told anybody about it, but I was like, Satan can see me. He's gonna be, he's gonna like I can get killed in my sleep or something like that, or for a long time when I was a kid, and then obviously that relaxed over time. But then just obviously going through, I mean, whatever, just growing up and learning things and about life and history and science, you're like, yeah, this isn't really a thing. Doesn't really add up. A lot of inconsistencies here. Um, but yeah, I was like, I don't know. Part of me was like, I wish I never went through it. I mean, I would never. It's almost like I don't know. Maybe there should be an age that kids. I don't know if there's like an indoctrination age or something. I mean, you never be able to enforce it, but it's like having kids that are like 2 years old and telling them what the world is exactly like it, and a certain God made it is kind of a bizarre concept to me. And it's like, but I don't know how you do it another way. I mean, I don't know how anybody does it another way because everybody kind of goes whatever they learned growing up, they pass it on to other people. So that's why I'm kind of more relaxed about it. I would have said like I was an atheist like in my mid 20s, but now I would say like I don't even consider it.
Oh yeah, no. The easy way. I
I don't
definitely
even think
went through
about
the
it.
eighth. I went through the
Yeah,
atheist phase, and now at best I'm agnostic. I'm like, yeah, I don't think about it. I'm like maybe,
yeah,
but maybe not. And since there's a maybe not, I can't go. I can't turn into the skid of maybe. So I'm
yeah,
like same thing. You're like, I know a handful of people that are very religious that you'd never know to speak to them because they don't react of like what I'm supposed to do or anything like that. So if that's the type of person you are, awesome. As soon as you tell me that I'm wrong because of the crap that you were raised on, yep, I have no time for that. So shut up. Like, and just, yeah, you can't use it as like your validation. And I think way too many people use it as I can be a piece of shit person because Jesus loves me. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. You don't get to like throw man law and like morality by the wayside because you feel like you can just be like, "Ah, ba, 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 but Jesus is mi amor." Like, nope. So just don't be a trash human. And I know some people just get morality out of religion. Okay, cool. But I also don't think you need organized religion for that morality. I have a moral compass and I want nothing to do with organized religion.
yeah.
But if you're
And
like,
I almost
listen,
think, yeah,
it just helps me keep going or like keeps me centered. Okay, cool. I have no problem with that then. If that's how you use it. But just use it responsibly, just like everything else. Use it responsibly.
yeah. And I found because I think in a way, like heaven or appeasing a god as your compass for morality is kind of maybe the wrong reason to be
It's a cop
to
out.
have morality.
It's a cop
You
out. You
know?
don't have
Yeah.
morality. You're worried about repercussions. That's very different.
I found like moving away from that started to help me find more empathy and humanity, and maybe kind of a spirit in humanity, or whatever you want to call it, of what we are and this life that we have. And maybe there won't, if there's something else extra, great. But I just don't think about it.
I'm
And
just glad the world's
but I
never experienced a lot of death over like holy wars. I'm glad that hasn't happened ever
yeah, I
in the
know
history of time.
it bums me out. Yeah, when that stuff happens. Um, but I think I'm gonna convert.
To what?
I love like the people who are like, "No, I'm a Satanist." I'm like, "Get out! You're not a
Yes,
You got to go that far with it. You got to go all the
relax.
way over. You like really believe in. If you got to believe in Satan, you got to believe in God. Like you got to go the whole way. You can't just have one or the other. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's pretty gnarly to
Like,
go
yeah. Let's
all the
be
way that
honest. Are
far.
you this way, or
Yeah.
was 14-year-old you so bought into rebelling, like, and then you started listening to Marilyn Manson? You're like, I guess this is the next step. Like now I'm a
Mhm.
Satanist. But I mean, that guy's a piece of trash too. But I digress. But I think that brings us to our 3 words.
Yeah, it does.
That's
Good
called a
segue into
segue.
balloons
Yeah.
and puzzles
Mm-hmm.
and
Whispers.
whispers.
Careless or careful. Either one.
Yeah. Did you have anything?
Well, balloons made me think. I kind of get jaded, so no, I don't know anything about whispering balloon puzzles to people. I don't have an experience that combines them, but it made me think of these things, and that's what we're just doing, is provoking conversation. So, balloon. We obviously both just celebrated our 40th birthdays. Have you ever? First, let me throw out with this one. Have you ever had a surprise party thrown for you of any magnitude? A surprise birthday party.
Not a full surprise, but
What does that
we
mean?
may have touched on
Please
this before.
elaborate.
We may have had touched on this before, but I think the Sarah and Brett, my friends, like
Mhm.
we were recording a podcast for the Fair City Fire, and they like had a surprise cake or present or
Yes.
something like
Okay. You
that
did say
kind of
that.
thing. But never a full surprise party.
Yeah. I've been to
That I
one.
know.
Like
Yeah,
I've been to one
I
that
think I
was
would know.
very similar to like, oh wow, this is literally almost kind of how they happen in the TV shows and in movies. It was a duping at a bar, so everyone met at this bar, and the guest of honor was being told that he was going out to dinner with his girlfriend, and she made up that they didn't have her reservation on the day of, so they were going to go somewhere else. And she's like, all right, well, let's stop on the way to this restaurant. Let's stop off at Sharky's. I want to have it, we'll have a drink on the way over to the restaurant. So we went into the back room of this, and we're all like, surprise, there's like 45 people at a bar. People traveled from up to 5 hours away. This is for our 30th birthday.
Damn.
So I'm like, wow, this was an actual surprise party. Unfortunately, we were not in a dark living room, like hiding behind a couch.
A well-lit space, seeing all of his
So
friends, like, what the hell?
I really wish I could have experienced something like that,
Surprise.
like hiding behind a couch and then wasting the good surprise on someone else. That would have been ideal. But yeah, I mean, what are your like? Would you find surprise parties of any sort to be, oh wow, great, or do you think your brain would not accept it and be like, I was misled, or this is overwhelming? Do you know how you would take it?
I think it'd be fine.
Wow, hot take.
I think I in a way it's like the introvert thing where it's like I need time to plan for this, to get like emotionally and like mentally prepared for this, and then all of a sudden it's
Which
like
you
they
can't
give you
be.
time. It's like, oh, here, we'll give you a week. It's like, oh no, I can't plan ahead that far. I don't want to do that. I might not want to go. So it'd be one of those things where I think I would feel genuinely happy for the effort. Like I think I've gotten really into in my years now appreciating the effort and the sentiment behind things more than just what
and,
they are.
and you have to.
Yeah.
You have to,
Even Christmas,
especially
like
for stuff like that.
Like Christmas, like I don't even care. I don't even ask for things anymore. Like honestly, because I'm like I don't care. Like I get what I need, but like if somebody gets me something, just whatever, stupid, or if they thought I'd like it, I'm like thank you. Like whatever I get,
Yeah.
I never return anything, even if
N-
something doesn't fit. Like if my mom gets me something that doesn't fit, I'm just like thank you. I'm gonna take it. I'll donate it, whatever. Like
Yeah.
you know.
I don't think I've returned anything in forever because yeah, I just nah. Like you say, I don't need anything. I don't want anything. So thanks for this. I appreciate the sentiment, even regardless of what the action is or anything. So yeah,
Even
no,
with
that's a
effort with like I love doing now cards like that's like my favorite gift to give now is like buying a greeting card that doesn't match the event but reshaping it or like buying a blank one and like writing something in it like trying to give something unique and just that's my effort is like spending whatever 30 minutes on this because that's what I think would be cool if somebody gave that to me, you know,
yeah.
like just something silly, just something
Time and
like off
obscurity.
yeah, yeah, basically. Like here's like instead of like I'll give my I don't know, I don't think of the last time I've done this, but like if somebody's turning you know like 40, I'll give them a card that says you are 4 and then put a 0 after it, but
Yep.
then it's still really childy and then just add in some stuff about being 40 or you know something like that. um that's kind of like I like that. I like effort. Do you have you ever heard of do you know the 5 love languages?
I know of them. Yes.
What are they? I'm gonna look them up real quick, but one of them is gift giving, I think.
Yeah. Then there's like
um
favors, I think is one of them.
Um, yeah, I wish there was. They should just make a really easy list here. So yeah, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch.
Yep. That's exactly what they are. Like
Um,
that's the
so
list that I'm familiar with.
so to me, like the receiving gifts part, that would fall into that, but it's also the quality time. Like I think I'm definitely a quality of time person more than I don't know. I guess I like everything. Like that physical touch. We did talk about
I'm
69A earlier. I like that.
acts of service and words of affirmation. Like that's just
Words of affirmation. Okay.
yeah. Like I tell my bosses at work too. They're like, you know, what would you like for a gift card if you do well and stuff? I'm like, just tell me I did good. I'm like that means a lot to me because I don't credit myself with anything. So like just someone telling me I did good or something like that is fantastic for me. Or someone just doing any like on a personal level, anyone doing a favor for me. I'm very like it's hard for me to ask of favors because I don't want to inconvenience people. So if people just do something because like, I thought of you and I figured I'd do this or pick this up and send it to you because I saw it. So they buy it and like mail it to me because like I'm just like I'm like you could have done nothing, which is really easy to do, but you did something. Like
Mm.
so that means a lot to me.
Yeah, the quality time's always been big for presents or gifts. Like that's the way mine thinks. Like if I've ever had like a significant other, to be like, I just want to do like tickets to something or go somewhere or experience something like with that person. And that's my
Yeah.
preference. Is always to do that. And so I think of those gifts too, like in those moments, like a surprise party or whatever, something like that would be like quality time. It's an event. It's something special, something unique that you share with that person. Um, I guess that's also why I've spent a lot of money on doing things before too that maybe
Yeah.
I didn't have or shouldn't have because that's I lean on it um, to have those
Yeah.
things. I need the love.
Yeah. Habitual. Um on to change gears on puzzle, I could think of something too now. Not about jigsaw puzzles and what, but I'm a puzzle guy in general. I like solving things. That's actually very specific activities that I like. Big on the Sudoku and the crossword, so I like puzzles. But what made me think of is, have you ever done an escape room?
No, I would
Really?
love to, honestly.
I listen, man. Like if they existed, I feel like high school Matt and Jeff would have been rocking escape rooms.
Yeah, it would
Like
have been sharp. Yeah.
yeah, would have. So I went to my first escape room probably about 2016, 17. It was Harry Potter themed. I had never seen anything Harry Potter, but I was rest assured that it had no relevance to
Okay.
your
Good.
success
Good.
of
Yeah.
escaping. It was just seen that way. But I will tell you that it was exactly what I'd hoped it been, and it was nerdy problem solving obscurity, and I freaking loved it. And the fact that I haven't done one since is actually more shocking to me. But you can buy these things called, there's cards, a deck of cards that you buy, and it's called Escape It, I think, maybe, or something like that. There's escape rooms that you basically can have at home. Obviously, you only can play it once because there is a defined way to do it, but it'll come with like a phone app that you download, and you have to take like, there's a timer on the game
Oh,
itself.
I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a blast. They're
Or you can get them
hard.
like monthly or something like that. You can get
Yeah.
like subscription to
So
these
like,
things. Yeah.
yeah, dude, escape rooms are mad fun. And the only problem I have with escape rooms is that I am very, when it comes to problem solving, I sometimes can be a little
Not a
bit,
team player.
yeah, like aggressive
Yeah.
with like, no,
I could see
that's
that.
your idea is stupid and I don't want to do that. So that's not going to help us. I'm going to start doing this on my end. And if you're right, great. If I'm right, which I'm going to be, then great. Then I didn't waste my time on your idea. Like, that's just my personality, and I really hate it. But I'm very much like, I think I would probably, I might be better escaping a room by myself than other people. Because then if I didn't get out, all I can do is blame myself, and I'd hate to have to blame someone else for the reason we didn't
Interesting.
escape a room.
See, I'd like to be the guy that I might maybe don't do like I'm not machine gunning like all the ideas, but I just want to be there and just get like the snipes, just get the well, I
You want
saw
your like
that.
one or two key
Yeah.
moments.
Yes. I saw that Tolstoy book over here referencing whatever the year 1848, and I know that's a code for whatever.
It's
like, all
wild
right, I'm
stuff,
out of
and
here.
it's fun. It really is. Like doing a live one
It's
is
sort of
fun.
like a trivia team, probably too, isn't it? Like if everybody knows a little bit about something, it probably helps. I bet.
No, because it's not.
What's the core knowledge and skills you need?
It's not. It's identifying clues in the room.
Okay.
It's like, so it'd be like reading something, and then the way it words, you'd be like, hold on, this is kind of like this. So, oh, there's these flags on the walls. So what's about these flags? Oh, look, there's everything on this flag. There's 4 symbols on it, and all of those animals start with a B. And then, so what's this flag? And so like you start picking up on weird clues like that, and then it unlocks something and you move to the next phase. And so like, it's less knowledge of things and more identifying patterns, riddle type stuff that takes you to something else in the room, which is going to help you solve this problem to move on to the next one. So it's general knowledge isn't the thing. It's if you are someone who's good at activity book type puzzles, word searches, crossword Sudoku, and you pick up on patterns, stuff like that. It's almost like a living IQ test. You know how IQ tests often give you patterns. It's picking up on shit like that helps. So it's very intriguing. It's very intriguing because I've never thought when you get an answer, it's never really to the point where it's obscure, where you're like, well, how the hell will I have gotten to that? Your brain just doesn't always trigger the way you want it to. Because when someone tells you, okay, this is the answer to that step, you're like, oh, that does make perfect sense. So a good escape room is going to make you think hard, but you can still mess it up, and you kind of get mad at your brain that it didn't trigger that response.
I feel like it would also, I mean, I would be able to do it, get through it, but it would definitely trigger some minor anxiety about being trapped in another thing, I have done in Austin, they had what's called the House of Torment, which is like one of the country's best. That's one of the country's best haunted houses. There's actually 3 different ones you walk outside because they do like crazy makeup. Like there's rooms you go into that you're walking through and it like smothers you in darkness, and you got to walk through this like tiny maze. There's like every different type of fear you could have. There's like a doll room, I think. There's like serial killer type stuff, zombies. It was really good. It was very scary and felt very closed in. And it felt like we escaped when we got out of there. We were with the friends,
do the actors
just like all holding hands or like touching each other so we could like get out of there. Like everybody's looking a different way.
Touch you?
They don't, but they actually, somebody did get touched, I think, in our group, just accidentally. But they get like they get really close, like because they run up to you, or like actually, you know what? Somebody's leg got grabbed. I think they're not supposed to grab you, but maybe they read it and see if somebody's, I don't know. But it's something, I don't know if there's not like a safe word, but they're all just regular people, obviously. and makeup, right? You
When I
guys
was
aren't real.
when I was younger, I went to what's called Nightmare in Niagara Falls, and that's a year-round Niagara Falls, Canada, year-round haunted house. There was a brief time on the internet where it would show people and takes a picture of a certain scene, and they're like in front of the wall, like like looking like that, and that online because at that time, all of a sudden you're walking down a dark hall or a dimly lit hallway, and it's complete blackness on the right. I remember this, and I was like 14 when I went through it, and all of a sudden you hear screeching tires, and all of a sudden these lights turn on and a car just comes right up by you and honks, and you're just like like it literally makes you feel like you're going to get hit by a car, and then
Really?
it
Oh
stops.
God.
So again, I was a scared kid already, so why I thought it would be a good idea to go in this made no sense. So like you had said, you get to this area where you're feeling around a wall and you can't move forward, and you'd hear like voices like just weird haunting
Oh
voices.
no.
So then a faint light turns on, and it's like a crawling area where you have to get onto your hands and
Oh yeah.
knees to crawl through, and there's holes in the side where you can see like
Ooh.
fingers and stuff, and I'm like, no, nope. And so you in this place you can say nightmare like a couple times, and they'll open up. There's all these trap doors, and they can open up and let you out if you literally want to leave.
That's a good
And I
idea though,
did.
because I think it would keep people going too if you have that, because people will know there's a way out if they need it, but it'll probably keep
Yeah.
them
But
going.
yep, I did it once. I called nightmare, and I'm like, nope, can't do that. Nope. Turns out
Nice.
I'm not able.
What's like now would be of all like the stereotypical haunted house things would make you the most afraid? It's not like, like real life fear, but it's just like spirits, snakes, chainsaws, zombies, ghosts. Is there anything that you think?
Zombies, I don't think I would, because zombie culture really put a kibosh on that.
I mean, like it's
Like,
too ubiquitous because like you don't think you would do it, or you don't think
no, I
it'd
don't think
bother
it
you?
would bother me because of
Yeah, yeah,
how embraced zombies were in like the
yeah.
2005 to 2015
Mm.
era. Um, Snakes, maybe. Reptiles are snakes and bugs are pretty fucked. Ghosts, I don't know. I want to say no, but maybe you could throw something at me that would creep me out. Because even haunted hayrides are pretty wild. Um, I don't know. I don't know what would. I don't. I think I would do better than I was a kid, but I'm sure there'd be something that would get me, and I'd almost be curious to see. Like, let's go through this and see
I
what
think it's
is the
like,
thing that
yeah,
triggers me.
yeah. I'd say like little dolls are for kids, little scary kids. That shouldn't be scary,
Like,
like
yeah, like a
it'd be
girl
pretty
bouncing a
terrifying.
ball in a dress and like giggling,
Yeah, yeah, that
like
kind
but
of
like an
thing.
echo or something like
Turning your
that.
head around. Yeah, one of those things.
Or
Pretty
yeah, like
terrifying.
you no, you see like a kid playing with dolls, but her back's basically turned to you, and then all of a sudden she stops and then slowly turns and looks and makes eye contact. Yeah, yeah, fuck that.
Or
I'd
just like
punt the
looks from
child.
underneath a table, or like comes out of or a little cabinet,
Yep.
kind of thing. Any little kid stuff
Yeah, and
is
a
pretty
little
freaky.
kid insinuating that they're talking to someone or hearing someone that you can't. Like they're
Yeah,
like, he
yep,
said you need to leave. He said you shouldn't be here. Like
yeah,
you're
that
like,
kind of thing. Yeah, there it
no.
is. There, yeah, that's it. I think that's a winner right there.
Yeah. Okay. We'll agree. We'll agree. A small child referring to some being that's telling them evil things that you can't hear. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
communicating. Yeah. Swell. Let's get the words for next week. Couple housekeeping things, guys. Hey guys, hey Strange Fam. A lot of you guys in the comments and stuff. So next episode, number 25,
Mm.
we're gonna do a draft of 90s products.
Mm.
So I'm sure everybody that listens to this knows exactly what we're talking about, but we're gonna draft what we think to us are either our favorites or we had or we really wanted or had an impact, however we want to define
Now
it.
this can be anything really from
Mm-hmm.
toys, general
Yeah.
products, fashion, food,
Foods.
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been testing around with the gaming, so you can check that on YouTube. I actually, the other day, I was testing like to make the settings a little better. I played around to Hades. I beat it for the first time, and it's on our YouTube channel.
Really?
Yeah, my
I'm
37th run.
I
I was like,
gotta
I was gonna
check that
play this,
out.
and I was like getting all my boons and level ups, and I was like, oh, this is a terrible build. I'm never gonna beat it. And I got through, and I beat it. And I was
On
like,
a
holy
weird
shit, I
build.
did it!
On a weird build.
I did it. Yep. Also caught my first pike this week in my life, and ended up catching two in 1 week. Weird week. Weird week.
I can't identify a
Um,
fish to save my life.
yeah, it's the one that is like the predator of the freshwater. It's got gnarly teeth and stuff.
Neat.
I'll insert a picture here. Ding.
So you established
Um,
dominance? Because like
I did.
it's a predator, but you're like not on my watch.
Yep.
And so it
Not
has
my
like a
waters.
little wristband that can self-destruct and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it can obviously go camouflage, and it has heat sensors.
Yep.
That's what you mean by a predator.
I released it back. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
I got you. Ah, that's my
I got
Arnold
you.
slash Chewbacca.
I got you.
And when I released it back into the water,
Mhm.
I poured my PP iced tea bottle all over him. It's like, I'm gonna let you go, but you gotta swim through these waters.
That is an interesting. Yeah, I mean that's a win. That's a win for humans.
I wasn't even in the kayak.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good week for me.
Nice.
Beat
Very
Hades.
cool.
So yeah, check out the gaming thing on there, and I'm gonna do it some more. And then Jeff and I think
Yeah.
we're gonna get some after his trip to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So mid to late July, we're gonna get on there together. We're gonna play some Nintenders. I think is that what we decided? We're gonna play some old school Nintendo games.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try like
Ice hockey.
Ice hockey. There's a couple
maybe,
other ones on there. Maybe baseball,
dodgeball, baseball. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
jeez.
So
So
yeah, no, I'm
that
looking
will-
forward to
yeah.
it. I haven't thrown a controller in Rage in a really long time, and I'm looking forward to getting back into that. Really that nostalgic feel of basically swearing off video games until the next time I play, or being yelled at.
Well, at
by
some
my
point, we'll
parents.
definitely play the Wheel of Fortune on the Switch, so you can win. There's no way I'm going to beat you at that. I want to try. I will try. But
Yes.
I'm
I'm willing to put stakes on it. I'm willing to put stakes on it.
I would need
I'll put one way on it out of confidence.
Oh,
no, it's fine. Cut me off, man. Yeah, no, the episode's over.
no. Yeah, I would need some odds for
Yeah,
sure.
man, that's fine. That's fine.
Or we'll see. We'll see. We'll do a few rounds,
Okay.
and then we'll test it out. And
Sure.
if it's like just a man beating up a little baby, then we'll have to go.
That's what
we'll have to figure it out.
I'm hoping for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's check out the. Let's get our 3 words and chill. Cha. I forgot how to share things on here. Here it is. All right. Chat Gipita. Hey chat. Give me 3 random words.
What if we could spit back 3 random words? Like it was being snarky.
Oh, it's working. It's having a hard time. Dude, it's the same ones it did before.
What?
The first time. Serendipity. How can these be random?
Yeah, therefore it's not random unless it thinks you're entering the exact same question.
Regenerate response. Regenerating response. Serendipity whisper. Cascade whisper again? What? What's wrong with ChatGPT? Hey, will you
more like
give
artificial unintelligence?
Random words that are different than any other words.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
Quixotic, mellifluous. Why, dude? ChatGPT only knows like 3 words, I think.
What was that other word generator we had? We had a better success rate.
Random word generator. Here it is. Random word generator journey. I don't need that. Random word generator. So 1, 2, 3. Update veteran composer. All right.
Update
veteran. Update veteran composer. All right.
Sure. Rock and roll.
All right. I think that's all we had. And just so you know, it looked like I was drinking a beer on the stream, but I wasn't. It's 0%.
It's an
Stella
NA
Artois.
Stella.
And it's more than NA. This is like truly a 0%.
What the
I
hell
guess
is
a
the
lot. I mean,
difference
most
of that?
NAs are like under 0.5%, I guess.
Oh.
But there's a few now that are actually 0.0. Stella is one of them. It's pretty good. I gotta say.
Does it taste like a pale,
tastes-
like a normal Stella, like a pale ale?
It tastes like kind of like a, I would say like a, it tastes like a beer. It tastes like kind of like, yeah, like a lighter lager kind of deal, but pretty solid. So I recommend it. Hey, if you're trying to not drink, but miss the taste of beer, give it a go. All right. Peace out. Deuces.
Just convenience. I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen.
Oh.